Hey everybody, welcome to a special edition of Monsoon Live right here on YouTube. I'm your host, Jeffrey Monsoon Mysick, and this week, in keeping with our pro wrestling theme that has started to kick off our 14th season, I had a chance to sit down with Ty Awesome. Now this is an up-and-coming indie wrestler down in the Maryland area who pretty much wrestles here in Jersey, the Philadelphia area, and down south. So check out this great interview with Mr. Ty Awesome. All right, Ty, what got you into pro wrestling?
Well, I'm from Salisbury, Maryland, and when I grew up around my neighborhood, I got friends in my neighborhood that I had met, and they were really into wrestling, so they got me into it. We always grew up on playing the video games, and that's how I got into, getting into who the characters were, what the moves were, and I guess I was just fascinated by how everything worked.
Okay. Next question. When you first started, was your family supportive?
Yeah, my dad. My dad's extremely supportive of the wrestling. He's not a big fan of it, but he loves that I do it, and he loves that I'm very into it, and he's very supportive.
Does he come to your shows?
Yep, almost every show he comes along with me. He enjoys it. He likes running the table and helping me when I can't always be there.
Cool. Is there a wrestler you try to emulate?
Emulate, I'm not sure. But definitely I always grew up on enjoying Paul London's work. And Paul London is that's what I grew up on, was Paul London and when he was Cruiserweight champion. That's when I first got in. And I was like, oh, they do backflips and all that cool stuff, and I'm like, man, I want to do that. So I always went on my trampoline and always were doing the backflips with my friends, and I guess that's what really got me in, was Paul London. That really sunk me in, was the flips and the way he worked in the ring.
Okay, I gotta ask this because you bring up the cruiserweights. Have you been watching the cruiserweight division, that tournament that you just had with WWE? What was your take on that?
Yeah, I watched the tournament. I thought it was a very good tournament. And I actually didn't expect TJ Perkins to come out with the win, but underdogs, an underdog victory is always a good victory.
Oh, yeah.
It always tells a good story.
Who have you worked for, or currently working for as well?
Mainstream right now that I'm working with is, by mainstream, I mean where I'm usually at. I work at 302 Pro Wrestling, which is based out of Felton, Delaware. I'm working at ECWA, which is based out of West Newbury Heights, New Jersey. It's a big, long one for me. I've been wrestling some ACW lately. I debuted there just lately. I'm current Valor Pro Wrestling Primus champion. That's a couple of the places.
Sweet. I'll have to check some of those out. How did you come up with your gimmick?
Man, my favorite WWE champion of all time. I was about 17 years old, and I was just getting into the heels. I think I was about 17, maybe 16. I was just getting into liking heels. Because, you grow up as a kid, you're like the baby face, and always enjoying the good guy. But when you get older, You know, like a lot of 90s people, they were like, oh, dude, once the NWO came out, and everyone liked the bad guys. Well, I guess when I turned like 16 and I matured, I was like, man, I like the bad guys. And the bad guy around that time was the Miz. Of course, he's still around.
Yeah.
You know, and I was like, man, I wish I could be awesome like him and stuff like that. So I guess I idolized him a little bit. But I guess if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have realized what I wanted to be my whole life. And I guess I always tried to be, you know, an awesome person, I guess. I always wanted to impress people growing up. I noticed that, and sometimes I tried a little too hard. And I didn't have the most friends growing up, but I always, you know, had a select few people. And I guess I just always wanted to be that popular kid because I wasn't. And now that I gave myself the name and I lived up to the dream that I wanted to succeed and I wanted to reach a point in my life where I said, hey, I'm that awesome kid and I'm going to show you and I'm going to live it. And I guess that's what I wanted to be. In pro wrestling, when you want to tell a story on your character, it's what you wanted yourself to be. And I wanted to be the awesome kid that everybody knew.
Cool. All right. What finishers do you like to use?
My current finisher that I typically like to take it home with is the 450 splash. I love it so much. Of course, Paul London. You know, it's a very fun move. You might see an extra rotation in there in the near future. So, if an extra rotation is in there in the near future, we'll see. I like using the shooting star press, the top rope. I love that move. I don't use that one as frequently. Usually I pull that one out of the back pocket when necessary. And I have a move where I grab you in the full Nelson, and flip you up, and I transition to you in a cutter.
Dang! That's vicious. We have to see those. Okay, next one. Is there a wrestler out there that you're dying to face?
Like in my division or like all time?
I would say it can be both, whatever you want. I mean, because I keep hearing you say Paul London. I could see you versus Paul London.
If I was to wrestle anybody in the world, of course, it'd be the person that who made me want to do this, and that is Paul London. Yeah, I would love to work him. But there's like a plethora of guys who I'd love to work. I think Paul London would be, you know, if I wrestle Paul London, I'll be happy with what I do in wrestling, period. I'll be happy I made it to my goal. Because to me, that would be my childhood dream come true, is to wrestle Paul London. But if I would have a dream match that I think would really put myself over as a legitimate wrestler, I would love to wrestle Lio Rush. If I wrestled Lio Rush, you know, I feel like I would be able to, like, reach in a different zone in myself to compete with how hungry he is, because I see how hungry he is, and you know, seeing how hungry he is motivates me to stay hungry and to get at a level he's at. So I guess to say if I would have a dream match with anybody, it'd be Lio Rush, but I guess I could also say Paul London as well.
Yeah, I've seen Lio Rush in action. He was here in the Philadelphia area once, and we were like,
"Yeah, that guy's insane."
My buddy and I just looked at each other going, and everyone was standing up, even though he lost. The whole crowd was standing up, and I'm like,
"Yeah, he's very good." So, yeah, a match that would make me happy with my wrestling career, Paul London. A dream match that would put me at a different level would be Lio Rush.
Okay. Next question. What advice do you give to folks who want to get into pro wrestling? We have some folks, you know, they've watched WWE or they've gone to these indie shows and they're like, oh, I can do that. And they want to get in it. What advice do you give to them?
Man, just, you know, if you're serious about it, you know, look at yourself in the mirror and say, what can I do with this? You know, and you have to look at yourself athletically, at what you can do, at what people can believe that you will do, or that you can do. Because like a guy like me, I shouldn't be able to pick up somebody who's over 250 pounds. Can I? Probably. But it's not always the easiest with a guy my quality of size.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess just always think realistically. Go to school, learn the right way, and as long as you're wrestling, somebody's going to give you advice. So take advice and take in the good of what you believe could benefit you, and just listen to what anybody has to say, because you're always going to get advice in the business. Always, no matter if you've been in 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, you're always going to learn, no matter what.
Cool. Because I want to add this question into it. What was your training like at the Spinebuster Wrestling Academy? Like, what?
It was rough. It's still rough sometimes. I went in there. Man, I'm still the smallest one in there, I feel like sometimes. But I went in there the first time with my buddy Craig, and I met Muddy Waters for the first time, and he was leading at the time, and I performed in front of him with what I knew, because I had originally learned from Mark and Jay Briscoe from ROH. I originally learned from them back in, I think I was going into my 11th grade year, so my summer going into my 11th grade year, I had learned basics, and I went in with them, and I showed them what I could do and what I knew, and they were like, all right, this kid's not half bad, I want to see him again. So I just stayed consistent, and I was already working a little shows here and there, but I was ready to take it serious and start getting in a routine and start getting bookings every weekend, like anybody should if you want to prioritize wrestling and make a serious career out of it. So I went there, they beat the hell out of me. I sweat like a dog in there all the time when I'm there, and I enjoy it. I truly enjoy the people I work with and the people that I've met, and the people that I have had an opportunity to work with there. They constantly have different people come in all the time. The quality of the shows that 302 has, which is where Spinebusters ultimately leads to, is 302 is the main show, and it's just a lot of fun. And like I said, I'm really glad to have the guys that I have in there, because they motivate me, and I'm glad I motivate them.
Cool. I mean, sounds like their motivation has propelled you a lot so far in your career.
Yeah.
What is your long-term goal with your...
To make it. That's all you can really dream. When you're living your dream, that's all you want to do is, go further. You can't, I'm living at this moment where I'm like, all right, I'm getting bookings, maybe a show every weekend, maybe 2 shows here and there a weekend, and, I'm enjoying it, but I'm not going way out there yet. I'm still, 2 years in, so I like to believe I'm breaking a mold right now, but I'm still young. Things are still very mild right now. Hopefully within the next couple of years, as I still grow old. I'm 21 years old, so I'm still going to grow old. I got a lot of time in this business. I got a lot of time to learn. I'm still as humble as ever, and I plan to stay that way. And I just want to learn and do this full time. Of course, just like anybody else who wants to be on TV every Monday night or Tuesday night.
All right, last question to wrap it up. What upcoming shows do you have in the near future? Oh, this November.
In November, in the month of November so far, I have 302 Pro Wrestling the beginning of the month, the first Saturday of the month. I have, as of right now, I have a show in Pennsylvania booked. I believe it's Triple WA booked, but I could be wrong. I never know what's going on. Always too early to call things sometimes. Third Saturday I'll be at PPW, and the fourth Saturday of November, I am available as of right now.
Well, man, good luck. We will be obviously posting any more updates on the Facebook page and also the website. Thank you for taking the time tonight to meet with us, and looking forward to come to one of your shows, either in New Jersey or I know you go to Gilbertsville. I mean, that's my hometown too. So we'll have to check it out, and hopefully we'll hook up for real.
All right, man, that'd be cool.
All right, thanks, Ty. Have a great night, man.
All right, man, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
See you, buddy. Well, folks, that was a great interview with Ty Awesome. We'll be sure to check him out at an up-and-coming indie show here in the area. But for now, for all of us here on Monsoon Live, hope you guys have a great week. And as always, later days.